My name's Daisy. I had just turned 30 when I planned something simple but magical, my daughter's 7th birthday. We were supposed to walk into a room filled with balloons, cake, and a giant banner with her name on it. Instead, what we saw was, "Congrats, Tyler." My sister had turned Hazel's big day into a party for her own son. I didn't fight. I didn't shout. I just acted differently. And 2 weeks later, my sister was sobbing, and my nephew was being transferred to a new school. If you've ever been blindsided by the people you thought would always protect you, you'll understand. Hazel had been waiting for her birthday like kids always do, counting down out loud every morning. Only 20 more days. Only 11. Just 5 left. She had this whole glittery dream in her head: unicorn piñata, pink and teal balloons, cupcakes dusted with sparkles. Together, we even drew up a wish list: colors, games, food, the works. My sister Brianna insisted on hosting. I offered to take care of it, but she waved me off. "Daisy, let me do this one. Hazel deserves a special day. You always take on everything, this time, I've got it." She even asked detailed questions: cake flavor, whether Hazel still loved unicorns, if strawberries were okay. I let myself believe she was putting thought into it. That's why what happened stung so badly. The morning of the party, Hazel twirled in her favorite sparkly dress. She tried to do her own hair. My husband Jake fixed the bow. She was buzzing with excitement. "Do you think Aunt Brianna remembered the glitter balloons?" I smiled and told her of course. We pulled up to Brianna's place and instantly knew something was off. Cars packed the street. Dozens of boys in baseball jerseys ran across the yard. Jake glanced at me. "She didn't say it would be this big." Then we saw it. A banner across the garage: "Congrats, Tyler." Hazel froze mid-step. Tyler, Brianna's son, 10 years old, had apparently made his school's baseball team. And this birthday party was really his celebration. Hazel squeezed my hand and whispered, "Is this mine?" I couldn't even answer. Inside, it was chaos. Posters of Tyler swinging a bat. Tables with MVP snacks. Loud music, baseball decorations everywhere. Hazel's dream party was nowhere to be found. Finally, we spotted Brianna laughing with my parents. "What is this?" I asked. She just shrugged. "Dual party. He made the team, she's turning 7. Why not combine?" I told her. She never mentioned it. She rolled her eyes. "Hazel has her corner inside. Don't be dramatic." We went to her section. It was shoved in the back of the living room: 3 sagging balloons, a paper tablecloth, 4 plain cupcakes, and an unopened pack of tiaras. Hazel's 3 little friends sat there quietly, almost confused. She tried to smile, adjusting a tiara, pretending it was enough. Watching her break on the inside shattered something in me. I confronted Brianna. "You hijacked her birthday." She waved it off. "Daisy, please. She's 7. She won't even remember." My mom and dad backed her up. "It's just a party. Let it go." But Hazel wasn't just a kid. She cared. And she would remember. I swallowed every angry word for her sake. We stayed a little longer so she could play with her friends. Then Tyler barged in with his buddies, mocking her princess corner and calling it a tea party. They threw a ball, knocking Hazel's cupcake out of her hands. That was it. Jake leaned over and said, "We're leaving." We gathered Hazel and walked out. No goodbyes, no scene. No apology followed us. Later that night, Hazel asked in a tiny voice, "Was I bad? Is that why they didn't sing?" My chest caved in. "No, baby. You were amazing." But when she fell asleep, I checked my bank app. Every dollar for that party, balloons, posters, food, was charged to my card. $2,653.07. I didn't rage. I didn't cry. I just decided. The next morning, I dropped Hazel at school, came home, and finally stopped pretending. No more quiet sister. No more excuses. Because Brianna had always been like this. The favorite. The manipulator. Growing up, she had a way of making her problems feel like emergencies. She knew how to charm, cry, and wriggle out of consequences. And me? I was always the calm one. The fixer. The bank. I paid her rent once. Covered her kids' classes. Sent money for retreats, spa days, baby showers. Jake warned me. I'd always say, she's family. But this time wasn't about me. It was Hazel. So I called Brianna. She answered cheerful. Wild party, huh? Tyler had the best time. Hazel seemed quiet though. You spent over $2,600 on my card, I said. Pause. Then her casual voice, it wasn't all for Tyler. She had her corner. You didn't even put her name on the cake. Brianna sighed like I was overreacting. She's 7. She'll forget. Besides, you said I could use your card. For Hazel's birthday, I snapped. Her laugh was sharp. You're really going to chase me for a couple grand? After everything I've done for you? What exactly have you ever done for me, Brianna? Silence. Then, well, I don't have it. Then I'll be filing a police report. She thought I was bluffing. I wasn't. I went straight to the station with receipts, texts, and photos. Fraud report filed. 2 days later she called me screaming. You got the cops on me? No, I filed a report. If you didn't steal, you'd have nothing to worry about. She repaid me within a week, every cent, with a nasty note, happy now? She also blasted me on Facebook. Some people would rather torch bridges than admit they're wrong. Guess I'll swim. I didn't comment. I just swam too, away from her. First step? Jake stopped coaching Tyler. Consider it handled. The next step was pulling out my phone, opening my bank app, and cutting every subscription and payment tied to Brianna. Tyler's tutoring? Gone. The baseball camp deposit? Cancelled. Her beauty box deliveries and that wellness meal plan she put on my card? All shut down in minutes. She noticed instantly. My phone buzzed with a furious text, why would you stop Tyler's lessons? You promised about the camp. He's the one suffering for your issues. You're different now. No, I wasn't different. I'd simply stopped bending for her. Jake and I didn't even need to talk it over. He stepped back from being Tyler's unofficial coach. I closed my vault as Brianna's personal ATM. And Hazel, my little girl, started smiling again, carefully at first, then fully. We threw her a proper birthday this time, our own. Just family, a few friends, handmade decorations, and a rented bounce house for a couple of hours. She picked her own playlist, and she finally had a cake with her name written across it in glitter. Brianna wasn't invited. Still, she found out. Another text came, wow, so now you're excluding us? Real mature. Tyler's devastated. He's been so affected by all of this. But Hazel? She was the one who cried herself to sleep on her birthday. I didn't reply. Something in me knew the ground was shifting. Tyler had always strutted like the world belonged to him, but without Jake's coaching, without my money, and with Brianna running out of scapegoats, the cracks began to show. And I had the sense, we weren't anywhere near the end. It started small. Not whispers in the air exactly, but that kind of uneasy stillness before a storm. Hazel began dragging her feet before school. The sparkly headbands stayed in her drawer. She picked plain shirts, tucked her sleeves over her hands, moving like she wanted to disappear. I asked if something had happened. She just shrugged. Said she didn't feel like talking. Then came the lunchbox. I'd packed her favorites, mini bagels with strawberry cream cheese, cucumber slices cut into stars. She came home with it untouched. I forgot to eat, she mumbled. 2 days later, same thing. This time, she admitted it. Tyler said my food looked gross. That was the first crack. I told Jake. That night, we started keeping track. We didn't want drama, we wanted evidence. Because with Brianna, with what happened at the party, we knew no one would protect Hazel unless we had proof. The teasing kept escalating. Tyler mocked her shoes, sneered at her pencils, called her princess in front of everyone. Hazel tried to laugh while telling us, but Jake didn't. We emailed her teacher, laid it out. She wrote back quickly, professional but uncomfortable, which told us everything. This wasn't the first Tyler situation she dealt with. Hazel came home days later with dirt on her leggings. Said she'd tripped. I didn't press. I just logged it in the folder we kept by the coffee pot. 3 days after that, the school counselor called. Hazel seemed withdrawn, hesitant, not herself. She didn't say Tyler's name, but she didn't have to. We knew. And then Brianna found out. She stormed into the school office, no appointment, demanding a meeting. She spun her version. Tyler was the victim, Hazel and Jake were ganging up on him. The staff was biased, Jake had set her son up to fail. And just like that, she filed a formal complaint against my husband. When the school called to notify us, I thought it was a joke. Jake, calm as ever, said, "I'll submit everything." And he did. Every email, every text, every practice schedule, time-stamped and printed. We weren't leaving a single crack in the story. Meanwhile, Brianna went on her campaign. To parents, Jake was unfair. To relatives, Hazel had a mean streak. To anyone who'd listen, Tyler was being punished for being too good. But Tyler was unraveling. Without Jake's help, he lagged behind. His temper blew up on the field. He mouthed off, threw a bat, got benched. And Brianna? She lost it again. Left me a voicemail that started with "You people are unbelievable" and ended with a rant about sabotage and jealousy. I didn't answer. But that night, Hazel finally broke. She dropped her school bag, went straight to her room, sat on her bed holding the plastic tiara from that ruined party. Not crying, just staring like she didn't recognize it anymore. I sat next to her. She whispered, "Why does he hate me so much? Is it because I got another party?" "No, baby," I said. "It's not about you." She looked at me, glassy-eyed. "I don't want to go to school anymore." That was the line. The next morning, Jake and I moved. I emailed the principal, attached our folder, demanded a proper meeting. Jake called the district athletic director with all his records. We weren't asking for protection anymore. We were requiring it. And suddenly, things shifted. Parents started reaching out. One said Tyler had shoved her son in the lunch line. Another said he called her daughter names. Someone else sent screenshots of a group chat, Tyler mocking Hazel as a crybaby. This wasn't new. It was just the first time anyone had put it in writing. The school's tone changed. They cleared Jake of everything. No misconduct, no bias, no retaliation. But Tyler, his record spoke for itself now. They called Brianna in for a disciplinary review. She exploded, accused the staff of bias, said Hazel manipulated teachers, claimed Jake had sabotaged Tyler's sports career out of spite. The principal let her rant. Then he slid a folder across the desk, incident reports, screenshots, witness statements. Tyler wasn't suspended. He was expelled. An involuntary transfer due to escalating behavior. That's what the letter said. Professional wording for, "You're not welcome here anymore." Brianna melted down, screaming, threatening court, blaming Hazel, blaming us. We weren't even in the room. The secretary filled us in later, apologizing. But honestly, it was exactly what we needed. Hazel could finally breathe. Without our money, Brianna's facade crumbled. She canceled uniforms, dropped Tyler's art class, stopped the spa trips, picked up extra shifts. Then the car broke down. Rent went up. And finally, a message appeared, "We're struggling. Can you help just this once? I'll pay you back." I stared at it. Then deleted it. Hazel began moving like she had music inside her again. Singing while brushing her teeth. Asking to wear her sparkly dress on a Tuesday just because. One night, she asked, "Will Tyler be mean to other kids now?" "I don't know," I told her. "But I do know he won't be mean to you anymore." And that was enough. I stopped apologizing for drawing boundaries. I stopped explaining myself to people who never cared to understand me. I stopped being Brianna's emergency fund. People love to say family is everything. But I've learned, boundaries are everything. And if someone burns the bridge when you finally say no, let them swim. Do I still wonder if I went too far, calling the cops, cutting them off, standing my ground until Tyler was expelled? Yes. I never wanted it to reach this point. But I couldn't keep letting them hurt my daughter. So what do you think? Did I cross a line, or was this exactly the fight Hazel needed me to take on?